English perch, or more commonly known as redfin, is a fish that's native to Europe. Redfin are notorious predators and are known to eat recently released cod. On a recent work trip to Canberra, one of my good mates Aylin and I decided that we were going to use all our spare time checking out all the different waterways, throwing in a couple lines, seeing what we could pull up. On this day, Aylin and I were fishing at Black Mountain Peninsula, which is a 7k drive or an 8-minute drive from Canberra Central. The redfin were absolutely pumping that day. We could not get them off the rod quick enough. Our lines, as soon as we'd pull one out, we'd throw the line back in. As we were bleeding the fish we just pulled out, another fish would take the line. It was absolutely mental. So Aylin decided to do what any sane human would do and cook some fish tacos for the boys. Let's get into it.
This is my take on some simple fish tacos. To begin with, we're just gonna shred some red cabbage. Just gonna get rid of the outer leaves that aren't so good, and the end. And from here, just nice and thin. You can use a mandolin if you've got one. You just want to grab a couple limes and juice them over the cabbage. And this is just to help soften them up, sort of like not like a full pickle, but semi-pickle. And also a small dash of olive oil. And just mix that through. And you put that aside and leave that sit. Okay, so we're just gonna make some guacamole to go with our tacos. So you just wanna get a couple of avocados. I've only got a small bowl, so I'm just going to use 1.5, which will be more than enough. So with that, we want to put some lime juice. Smash that up. So we're going to add to that some chopped coriander. So just give that a sort of semi-fine chop. So we've added the coriander. I'm just going to add a half a green chili just to give it some heat. I'm going to leave the seeds in. Okay. So I'm just going to add also some minced garlic. If I can get that open. You can use fresh garlic if you prefer. So just like half a teaspoon of that. And lastly, some salt and pepper. A really good mixture. Give it a taste and just to see if it needs any more salt, pepper, or lemon. It's pretty good. I might just add a little bit more salt. And now you can set that to the side. So to put on these tacos, we're going to make a Chipotle Mayo, just with some canned Chipotle chilies and in adobe sauce. Yeah, so you want to have a ratio of about 3:1 with mayo. So about 1.5 tablespoons, depending on how hot you like it. Put that in, stir that through. Give it a taste to see if it's up to your liking. That's good. So for the fish, we're just using some fresh redfin we've been catching the last few days. And you just want to cut it into small sort of strips, sort of like little fish fingers. You can go bigger or smaller, it doesn't have to be an exact size, but just small little chunks. So now we're going to crumb the fish before frying. So we're going to use flour, a mixture of egg and milk, and panko crumbs. The one trick you want to keep doing with this is keep one hand for dry ingredients and the other for the wet ingredients. So I use one hand just for the flour, and then put that in there. Use the other hand for that, and then do this. Go back to the dry hand. Toss it in the panko crumbs, and that's pretty much what we're trying to achieve. Just little crumbed fish fillets. So we're just going to fry up our fish now. We've got our canola oil. Heat that up nice and hot. You want an oil that's not going to burn easily, so definitely like a vegetable oil like canola or something perfect. So to test if this is hot enough, we just want to drop a little bit of the crumb in and just see that that is floating to the top and bubbling straight away, just like that. So this oil's good to go. So just want to grab your little fish fingers and just slowly put them in one by one. We don't want to cook these long, we just want to cook them until they're nice and golden brown. Very small bits of fish, so just a couple minutes on each side. Alright, so these looking nice and gold, so we'll give them a quick flip. Be careful around the hot oil. So once they're nice and golden, cooked all the way through, just want to drain them on some paper towel. Straight out of the fryer, I like to hit them with a bit of salt, just so it sticks to them. So we're using corn tortillas here. I just like to put them in the pan, just a dry pan, and heat them up before we use them to soften them off a bit. So now it's time to put together our tacos. So we're going to start with a bit of the red cabbage. So not too much, just a little bit. Alright, so now I want to grab a bit of the guac. Alright, time for some fish. So you can stack these with quite a bit if you want. Just gonna chuck in probably 3 bits in each. Alright, next, so we've got some pickled red onions here. To pickle these, I just mug overnight with some lemon juice, some salt and some sugar and a little bit of vinegar. Just leave them in overnight and they soften up and become beautiful. So just a few of those. Lastly, a little bit of the Chipotle Mayo. To finish, just a little drizzle of lime juice. And there you have it. Fish tacos, nice and easy.